Hi, I'm Amy Smith and I'm excited to share with you my favorite picture books from Kane Miller Publishing and Usborne Books and More. When we have our child snuggled up with us, they are equating that comfort with a love of literacy, and that feeling will be lifelong. You're creating lifelong readers when you are reading aloud to them. So that is my encouragement to you, to read to your child, and hopefully some of these books will be of interest to you. Starting with The Biggest Story, this book is so sweet about little Errol who wants his mom to read him a story, but she is busy doing household chores, which I know all of us can relate to, and she says, make up your own story. So he begins to think, and his story gets grander and grander. Dinosaurs are even involved, and his mom finally sits down to hear his story, and it is truly the biggest story, and it just is a way to celebrate the creativity in children. You'll have to read it to hear it and to just melt together with your child and enjoy the story, and it will encourage them to also dream big, think big. I just love this book, and I really hope that every home gets this book because it's a very, very sweet story. We also have a book called Boy, which is by Phil Cummings. It's a really sweet story, and I love it because it's staged in the medieval period when there were kings and dragons and fighting, and this story is about a deaf child who really saves the day. He saves the kingdom with his sweet demeanor. He doesn't have any fear. He teaches the whole city something really, really beautiful, and that is to listen to one another. And we can listen not just with our ears, but with our acts and with our emotions. It's a really, really dear story. We have some more really funny stories. The Fast and Furry Racers, The Silver Serpent Cup is my son's favorite. He still really loves it. This book is great because it rhymes, and I'm always loving a rhyming text. And these hilarious critters, they are all racing for the Silver Serpent Cup. And they rev up, and there's, of course, a villain who is cheating. Will the cheater win? Who is going to win the race? I won't spoil it for you, but it's very, very fun in the way that it rhymes. Al's almost at the finish when he hears a rumbling sound and something big and pointy erupts out of the ground. I won't tell you what happens next. We have a second Fast and Furry Racers book, and this is called The Cleopatra Bones and the Golden Chimpanzee. It's just as hilarious as the first, with equally awesome rhyming text. And the rhyming, when you read something with rhythm to your child, they remember it, and those phonemes stay in their mind. So it's really, really fun. But Al is much too lazy to go digging with a spade. Why dig a hole by hand when there's a fortune to be made? Really fun to read aloud. So I highly recommend both of these. We really love them here at our house. This book, Bears Don't Read, has been a beloved book for us for a couple of years now. It is so sweet. A large brown bear finds a book under a tree, and he is surprised, and he's sad because he doesn't know how to read. He's surprised by this. He wants to learn how to read. And what ensues next is not typical of what you would expect for a bear going to a town trying to figure out how to read, but it's a dear story, and above all, it encourages children to read, to dig out of their comfort zones, to be kind and loving to others. The River, an epic journey to the sea. This sweet book, you can see, has a little hologram fish here, and you're traveling along with a fish through the waters and to see where his journey will end. In snow-capped mountains among the firs, the north wind blows, something stirs. Through icy water, a small fish darts. This is where her journey starts. And just the gorgeous illustrations. I'm always blown away when we bring out this book because it's truly, truly an illustrative treasure, and the rhyming is just gorgeous. So I highly recommend reading that aloud to your kids. I Say Ooh and You Say Ah is a very, very silly book that your child will want you to read over and over and over. There are hilarious, let's see, now he's hiding from you. Who's that on his nose? Donkeys don't wear underpants. At least I don't think they do. look, he's coming back. So it's very, very silly story about a silly donkey, and it's very interactive. The kids have something to do during the story. Great for preschool, great for reading aloud to lots of children or just a few. Underpants are involved, as I just said. It's very, very silly. That is I Say Ooh, You Say Ah. The Big Race, another race book. This is a bit different than the other one. It has beautiful illustrations and very thick pages. It's just a work of art in itself, if you can see those illustrations. It's race day. All the animals are fast and big and strong. And then there's little Aardvark. There he is. There's little Aardvark. Can she join in the fun? Yes, she can. She's tired, but will she race? It's a test of endurance. It's a test of fortitude. It's a very, very sweet story. I'm a Dirty Dinosaur has also been a classic in our home, very well beloved. The illustrations were done in mud with Janine Bryan and Ann James. Another fun rhythmic text. I'm a dirty dinosaur with a dirty snout. I never wipe it clean, I just sniff and snuff about. Sniff, sniff, snuff, snuff, sniff and snuff about. So really, really fun to read. Will this dinosaur ever get clean? We also have I'm a Hungry Dinosaur that pairs, and the illustrations were done in frosting, as this silly dirty dinosaur makes a cake. Tip, tip, pat, pat, and smooth it best I can. Very, very sweet. We also have a book of fun called Pandemonium, and when you're visiting the zoo, whatever you do, don't wake up the panda. All the animals are so noisy, and just don't wake the panda, whatever you do. If you wake up the panda, he gets very grumpy, which hypes up the hippos and makes them all jumpy. So you can hear, again, a really fun rhyming book, all the different animals, and there's a lot of crazy, cool animals in this book. They're all making sounds. Will they wake up that panda, and what will he do? It's very fun. If you have a panda lover, this is a must. Lastly, I want to share with you Where Happiness Lives. And this book is about a sweet little mouse who you can also get the sweet plush too if you want to make the story come alive even more. Three little mice have three very different houses, but whose home is the happiest? This book is a beautiful book that teaches your child about contentment and just loving who you are and where you are in this world. The pages have some really beautiful cutouts for your child to enjoy, and again, just love who they are and where they are, and a really, really beautiful message. So I hope you found something that you might want to read to your child. I just really encourage you to read and snuggle your child and have a wonderful time together.